Alright, trying to get you guys a good view here. I have been wanting to do this for a while, and this is kind of a old school way of doing a push rod. My dad taught me how to do this years ago. I seen the other guys do it. I don't know where the idea originally came from, but some of you guys that have a hard time determining what kind of push rods you need, you can go to the manufacturers and get, solvent or nylon rods and stuff like that. That's all pretty new technology stuff. I don't. There again, I really don't know how this came about. But anyways, this is what you do. This is the problem that we have, and this is the best solution I could find to the problem. Is with the flaps. I'm going to use these rods. It's all going to be internal linkage. You won't see any of this when the plane's flying. That's kind of the neat part about all this. The flap geometry isn't, or the flaps aren't necessarily necessary on this plane. It's something that I added. They're probably not even that going to make that big of a effort. But if you can add another control surface, why not? Let's just complicate a complicated airplane already. So anyways, I dug through my scrap bin. I have some leftover rod here. This one's just a plain 256 rod. There's no threads on it. We're going to use that up at the servo. And I need to create a Y. So I got these two. And I need to put a quick link on this end. So these are threaded. These, like I said, these are, out of my used pile here. So anyways, basically this is what we're going to do. We're going to put a Z-bend on this end. Here you can show you a real close look how that works. Squeeze her down, squeeze. And that's all there is to it. There's your Z-bend. Sometimes you will have to, straighten these out a little bit. With your pliers or whatnot. Bends pretty easily. So that's our starting point. So we'll go ahead and throw that in this. Uh-oh. Yeah. Dang thing. I found my knife though. So anyways, we'll start with the Z-bend. Get that in there. Yeah, let's cut some of that off. Oops. I always try to leave a little bit of material after my Z-bend. Something like that. Go focus. And put that in there like that. Okay. So now, we don't need these to be very long. But I want them to be equal. We'll line them up a little bit, like so. And we'll snip those off. Okay. These might end up being a little shorter yet. We don't have a lot of space in here. So this is the trick to the whole thing. Dowel rod. You can use dowel, you can use square. I think this is 3/8, probably a little overkill. We're not going to make it very long, but this is how we're going to tie all this together. So we want to kind of line this stuff up, and if you can imagine, you can do this in a fuselage too. So anyways, we'll do something like that'll work. And I cut this off on the bandsaw. Bandsaw here to length. Not super critical that how long this is. This is what I'm going to end up with. And a fuselage, you just want to make sure you're not going to hit anything with these ends. So you might have to go thinner material, like, a 1/4 inch. I wouldn't go too small. This is where all your strength is at in the control horn and the control rod. So, you know, you don't want your rod length to be overly long either, because, but you want this to be inside the fuselage. So, anyways, moving forward here, need a drill, need some drill bits. We need to drill a hole in the center of this to accept this 256 rod. So let's try this one. Yeah, that would probably work. And then you want to come up like, I don't know, like that, half inch or so. Make a mark. Like that. And then drill a hole through it. Again, not super critical what. I want to drill through it. Make sure she's at a 90. You can just eyeball that. You got a hole. Now, next thing you want to do is you want to create a slot. So I'll try to. What I do here, this is going to be hard to show, but I drill and I lay it over. Like, this is hard to show and do at the same time. Lay it over. And then you want to put a slot in, a groove in here for that rod to lay into. Like that. You can do that with your drill. Come on, focus. Okay. Then we'll go ahead and take this out, and we'll determine the length. I want to make sure we got plenty of material here to work with. Yeah, like that. I'll set it right there. So I'm going to use my thumb here, and then grab the pliers and then bend it at a 90. Like so. Okay. Pick your rod. And with any luck, we picked the right drill bit. Yep. And see, like I said, it's kind of a snug fit. And we could, you want that to ride in the thing, and we're not quite there. So clearance that a little bit more. You need to radius off the edge too because of the bend. That looks pretty good. Like so. And I just marked it where it comes out here. You probably won't be able to see that, and then we'll snip it just a little short of that, so it's, you don't want the rod protruding, you want it inside the dowel rod. That way when you're done, you end up with something like that. See, that fits in there real nice. It doesn't want to move. And it's not protruding through the bottom. Okay, now I gotta pause this video for a second because I don't have any thin CA. I forgot to grab it. So let me pause you, and I will be. All right. So I got some CA. Now the next step here is you need some string. Now I don't know what this is, but it could be just nylon kite string. I know it's got some nylon in it. My dad's had this for a very long time. He's passed it on to me, and I will probably never use it. Oh, this is pretty much the only application that I use it for. So what I like to do is put a piece of string down through there, okay, and tie it on it. It ain't gotta be nothing fancy. It's just gotta hold. Maybe we'll just try it. Maybe I got it close enough fit that it'll stay. Yep, it will. Okay, and then you wrap this. This is kind of the time-consuming part of the whole thing, is making sure that you get a nice wrap with your string all the way down. I'll do a few here, and then I'll pause it. Anyways, that gives you the idea of what I'm doing here. I'll wrap that all the way down and cover that whole rod up. So let me pause it. I'll bring it back when it's all said and done here. All right, so it's been a couple minutes here, and this is what you're left with, just like this. You can see I have no gaps in there. I always wrap it around the end of the push rod, just to, or the 256 rod, just to finish it up. And then CA. Okay. And you're basically going to just coat this in thin CA. You want to keep some tension on this while you're doing this, so you don't have to. But I mean, this stuff will dry so fast, you won't have to keep it on there for very long. See? And then thin CA your joint here. You want it to saturate all of it. I'm not even pushing, I'm just letting it run out. There we go. That's what you end up with. Sorry if I didn't get that filmed. Come on. Focus. There it goes. So anyways, I got that all saturated, and then we can cut our ends. Now that, I'll let that, it's still a little wet. You can still see a little bit of shine there. That's the ultimate goal. Like I said, you want to go at least a, ½ inch, 3/4 of an inch back to make your hole. But if you needed a rod, the nice thing about this is if you need a rod and a finished airplane, say you bought a used plane, and you need to make some rods for the elevator, the rudder, and the fuselage, you can make these outside the fuselage and then snake them back in there. I mean, it is very doable. You don't have to cut covering and all that. We're still a little on the tacky side yet. But anyways, I've never had one of these fail. I mean, look how strong that is. I mean, you're not gonna I still got rods I made when I was in middle school that are still around. Plane's long gone, and then the control horn still sits floating around. You never know, you might be able to use it somewhere. So anyways, that's what we're going to end up with. Now, the trick part to what I like about doing this that I thought about is I'm going to be able to connect, make a Y here. Something like this. We'll make this one short, this one a little long because we'll have to bend it over. Or maybe something like this. You probably can't see that. Get you in a little closer here. You know, something. I think that would be better. So, see, I'll be able to put two of these on here. Wrap it. Do my bends. And put my linkages together. So anyways, it's basically the same process all over again. I'll have to use, I'll probably make one shorter, this side longer, and then so I'll drill a hole for one and drill the hole for the other. Put my 90s in, and then we'll go from there on straightening or putting the bends in to make them accurate. So be right back. All right, I got this all finished up now. I'll probably make this part of my how-to series. But you can see how I did that there. Oh, I guess I could show it in action here. Let's see here. Oh, we just set you up. Right there. I do have I put this little piece of tape on there and marked it for channel 7. That way I know what channel to plug it into. I usually use, give me just a second here. I wasn't quite prepared for this. Anyways, I programmed it into the radio. Made a new program, and these are my flaps. Got it programmed into a 3-position switch. Things would stay put. Anyways, get you up closer and personal. Oh, wrong switch. There you go. So we do have some action going on there. It took a little bit of time to get these set up right. I did end up putting them in the same hole right here. So I only drilled one through hole, and then I grooved them like I showed you on this part here. And then I wrapped it with the string and taped it. But I took a lot of time in trying to get some angle in both of them, so that way one wasn't as severe as the other. I think it works out pretty nice. I'm gonna have to put it on the wing, on the fuselage, and make sure we don't have any clearance issues with it. I don't believe we will. All my servos are sitting up here in the fuselage, so that's one thing you got to keep in mind. And she's pretty deep anyways. But yeah, so there's that. All finished up. Like I said, not working too bad. I don't think these are going to get used a whole lot. We'll have to play around with them, see if it makes any difference when it comes to test flying. I can't really set any rates up on this, so if I need to have less, then I'll have to put a different arm on it. I would probably almost go to a wheel instead of this big arm that I got on there now. And yes, I need to put a screw in the servo yet. I got plenty of them floating around. Anyways, these were, the kit didn't have the links here. I don't know if they've gotten lost or were missing, but I opened a new package of Dubro. Those are just strip aileron link connectors is what those are. I don't have the oh, there it is, strip aileron horn set. Pretty old package. Yeah, $2.35 back in the old days when stuff was reasonably priced. Anyways, next step on this is going to be throwing aileron servos in it. Getting the hatches finished up. Here's one of the hatches that I made. I gotta obviously cut a hole in that, drill holes and mount it and everything. But I'm short on grommets for those 3004s that I picked out. Few top of 3004s that I picked out for the aileron servos. Those would be plenty for this. You could go a little bigger if a guy wanted to, but not really that necessarily. I think this is going to be just the ticket. So that's the next setup. I did put the, I don't know if you can see them down in there or not. I got some paper tubes in there from here to here. From in the wing here. So I could guide them through, but I got to put ailerons in first. And I will wiggle them down through here. It's only a couple bays. They've got pretty good sized holes in there for, you can see it down in there. I can wiggle the extensions down, wires down through, and then everything comes out here. So, I got to do the ailerons first, and then I can throw throttle servos in it, get all that ran, get all my linkages made up, pretty much the same way. On these linkages, I'll just use 256 rod on the aileron and the throttle. That might be a little long for just a 12-inch piece, so I might do goldenrod or nylrod in there. I can show how to do that too. And then, yeah, so I got to cover the bottom of the wing, but we're getting real close. I'm going to have a video probably sometime in the next week showing how to build a couple Dubro tanks here, or at least one of them, as they'll both be identical. And then on to final assembly for, balance and getting the wheels on. I might do something with the wheel pants. I haven't decided on that yet or not. So a little bit to go. This thing should be ready the next week to get up in the air. Probably not gonna, I might get her outside on a warm day and fire the motors up, make sure they're running good, and tune them and work the cobwebs out of them since the one's been sitting for a couple years. So anyhow, I'm going to end this one here. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Not sure when I'll get this video uploaded, but we'll get there. We'll talk to you later. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. I would appreciate it.